Handling PAWS. Honey, 5-year-old border collie. Starting with handling, she loves. She loves to be pet, so I start with that to let her know that she can trust me. Honey is Wynnie's mom. The breeder was rehoming her, and I decided to bring her to live with us. She is a sweetheart, but has had very little formal training. I am having fun working on basics with her. During each training session, I work on multiple behaviors. This training session was 10 minutes. 10 minutes might be too long for some dogs. If your dog leaves the training session, you have gone too long for that dog. Keep the dog wanting more by ending before the dog decides to quit. Touching the paws lightly.
Twix, lie down. Yep. Done it, all done. Yep. Good girl. Yep. Yep. I don't like how she moved her paw. That means she's still not comfortable with me touching it. Wynnie, lay down. Yep. 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 Good girl. Yep. Wynnie, leave it. All done. Wynnie, all done. Wynnie, all done. Good mama, Zita. Yep. Good mama.
Adding slight paw holding.
Yep. Yep. Good girl, mama. Yep. Good girl, mama. Yep. Yep. Good girl. Wynnie, leave it. You all done? Yeah, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Yes.
Touching the paw a little more. Slowly desensitizing her to allowing me to hold her paw. My goal is to be able to trim her nails, but I am going to take my time and let her know it is an enjoyable experience.
Yep. Good girl, Mamacita. Yep. 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 Good girl.
Honey, paw handling, making progress, 5-year-old Border Collie. My goal is for Honey to enjoy having her nails trimmed. Starting with paw petting, which I know she is okay with. When she allows me to handle her paws, I mark with a yep and reward. I like using yep when I am working on calmer behaviors. Holding the paw slightly. Holding the paw longer.
Good girl.
Holding her paw and putting a little pressure on her toes. Touching her nail with a clicker. This is for her to experience something touching her nail before I use nail clippers.
Good girl.
Placing my hand on her paw and touching her nail with the clicker. Holding and lifting up her paw as I touch her nail with the clicker.
Good girl. You're so good.
Holding her paw and squeezing her toe. Holding her paw, squeezing her toe, and touching her nail with the clicker. Using the same process with the other paw.
Come on, Zita. Let's in on that pasta. You did super. You did super. Super. Did you do super too? You did. You guys did super together. Yeah. You did super. Mamacita. Bandito. Bandit. Honey. Yes.
Nail trimming. All 4 paws. Honey, 5-year-old Border Collie.
Okay.
This is the first time I have trimmed all of Honey's nails. This session went so well that I ended up trimming all of her nails, which I was not planning to do. In our last session, I worked on touching the nail clippers to her nail and trimmed a few nails on her front paws. For some reason, she does not mind having her nails trimmed on her hind paws.
Good girl, is a good girlie. You're doing super.
I am not just trimming her nails. I go back to easy steps where I just touch the clippers to her nail, mark with a yep, and reward. I want to make sure she gets a lot of reinforcement and is completely comfortable. If I just trimmed her nails without making it easy at times, it might be too much for her and she might end up having a setback. I want her to love having her nails trimmed.
Yep, good girl. Good job, girlie. Good job. Good girl. I love it. Good girl. Good girl. Come on. Good girl. Good job. Yep. Yep. Good girl, Mama. Yep. Good girl. Good job, girlie. Good girl.
I am using Easy Cheese from the can as a reinforcer. It is not healthy, but it is very high value. She loves it, and I only give her a tiny bit. A tiny amount goes a long way. Be careful if you use Easy Cheese. It will shoot out air when the can is almost empty. Make sure you do not aim it towards your dog's face. I squeeze out a little cheese before I give it to her, or I let her lick it off my finger. A healthier choice is individual packages of cream cheese. I usually use cream cheese, but I was out and always have a few cans of Easy Cheese in my pantry.
Good girl. Good job. Good job. Good girl. Yep. Good girl. girl, mamacita. Good girl, mamacita. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. What's wrong? Good girl. I think I got it too short. Didn't get any blood or anything. Just kind of been short. Good girl. Good girl.
I accidentally got one nail a little too short, but I did not hit the quick. I immediately went back to easy steps to reassure her and gain back some trust.
Yeah, good girl. Yep. Good job. Good girl.
I have to admit, I don't usually use the nail clippers. Years ago, I switched to the Dremel, and I like using it better. The Dremel files off a little nail at a time, which helps prevent me from trimming the nails too short. I will get her used to the Dremel, but she is a little sound sensitive, and I did not want to scare her. She hangs out as I Dremel everyone else's nails and seems to be fine with the sound.
Good job.
I am super proud of her. She is doing so well.
Good girl. Good girl. How can you stand it with him doing that in the background? Good girl. Good girl. Good. Good job. Good job. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
Twix was trying to get my attention and was running around with the ball. If Twix was distracting Honey, I would have put him in a different room while I trimmed her nails. However, she did not seem to be bothered by him.
Good girl. So good.
This entire training session was a little over 10 minutes.
Such a good girl.
Nail trimming using a Dremel. First time trimming all of Honey's nails with the Dremel. Unedited training session. I work on paw handling and nail trimming every few days. Usually I trim 1, 2, or 3 nails a tiny bit. If you watched my last video, I used the regular nail clippers to trim her nails and have been working on making the switch. This is the first time I have done all of Honey's nails with the Dremel. However, I took my time and reinforced her for easy steps to warm up and when I felt she needed extra encouragement. I am building trust and taking my time with her. I turned on the Dremel and marked her for not moving and for not being worried about it. She watches me trim my other dogs' nails and has never been afraid of the sound. It helps that my other dogs are not afraid of the Dremel and are fine having their nails trimmed. When I start, I always make it easy. I touched her nail while it was on, marked right away and rewarded. I don't want her to ever be afraid. She was a little startled when it touched her nail, but not scared. She does seem a little worried here, so I decided to just hold her paw and wait until she relaxed. When she was relaxed again, I marked with a yep and rewarded her. Since she was a little worried, I took a little break and rubbed her belly. She loves having her belly rubbed. After a short break, I went back to easy steps, holding her paw, marking with a yep and rewarding. Then I touched her nail with a Dremel, marked and rewarded. Honey's reinforcer was cream cheese in single-serving packs. It is easy to use and she loves it.
Oh, good girl. Hang on, let me get it to your face.
I am able to Dremel a little more before marking with a yep and rewarding.
Good girl. Yep, good job. Such a good girlie.
I usually only do 1 or 2 nails on her front paws and then mark and reward. I don't want to push it and do too much. Remember, my goal is to take my time and ensure she loves having her nails trimmed.
Yep, that's a good girl. Ooh, he made a big bite.
She started to pull her paw away, so I went back to an easier step and marked her for letting me hold her paw.
Wait. Good girl. Good girl. Good job. Good girl. Good job. Yep.
Anytime she seems worried, I go back to an easier step. I find that when I make it easier, I am actually able to get further in the training as it helps me regain her trust.
Okay, Mama. Good girl. Yep. Girl. Yep. Good careful.
I try not to make it harder by trimming more than 1 nail at a time, except on her hind paws because she has always been fine with me handling her hind paws. I want her to get a high rate of reinforcement for allowing me to touch her paws and trim her nails. I believe that the high value rewards and high rate of reinforcement has already helped her learn to love being handled and having her nails trimmed.
Good girl. good girl. You're a good girl. Good girl, Mama. Nice job, baby girl. Good job, Mamacita. Good girl. Yep. Girl, yeah, such a good girl.
Honey has never been worried about me touching her hind paws, so I thought I would see if I could do all the nails on her hind paws. She was relaxed and did not seem to mind.
Good girl. Good girl, Mamacita. That was beautiful. Almost done. You're the best. Doing so good. Such a good girl. Good girl. Good job, Mamacita. Good girl. Good job, baby girl. Yes, good job. Such a good girl. Such a good girl, Mamacita. Such a good girl. Yes. Good girl.
The entire session was a little over 10 minutes.